Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Am I there?
Yeah.
Good.
A little quiet. Hold on. It's probably my volume.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Do I sound
Yeah.
okay? Yeah. It had a little moment. I think the app needed updating, so it was kind of like, no, I'm not playing ball for a second, and then it was like, actually, why not? Well, I'll let you join. Why not? As long as you can hear me and I look alive and you look good, you look alive, so that's all right. We're all alive.
There you go.
Hey guys, it's me, Halloween Dan,
ScareDad?
and we are middle-aged men talking about Halloween. And today we thought we'd just run over Transworld. We haven't had a chance to really talk about this together, and there's so much to talk about and so much to unpick. So we thought it'd be a lot of fun to get into that. And that's what we're going to be doing over the next couple of videos. Do remember, this is part 1 of 2. So go straight over after you've watched this over to ScareDad's channel to check out part 2, because there's a whole much more spooky things going on in that video. Let's get into it.
I'm hoping that I'll be a little more coherent this morning, getting that extra hour of sleep.
Oh, yeah, that extra hour. That's a big deal. We should stay this time, actually. We should not go forward ourselves, and this would just be perfect then. Yeah, I know.
That's a good thing you said that yesterday, because we just talked about it, but I completely forgot it was a 4-hour difference. So.
Well, I didn't think about it for a second, and then I was like, hang on a minute. He's going to get up his usual time. That's going to be 10 o'clock my time, so I better make sure he knows that. I was like, he'll know that. Oh, well.
You overestimate me.
Fine. Good. We're at the right time, so that's okay. Everything's fine. Anyway, where do you want to go with this conversation?
I mean, I guess we got a lot of props to talk about, right?
We have got a lot to talk about. I keep on looking at footage, and I'm like, there's just so much. It's just like every time I think I've seen the majority, I'm like, whoa, hang on a minute. I didn't see this. Where was this? Who, you know what I mean? There's just so much to see. I don't know how people who actually go to Transworld actually deal with it. I think I'd have overload. I'd just be like having to breathe in like a paper bag at the end of every evening. Just like, oh my God. Just like, yeah, that's crazy to me. So,
no, it was an interesting year, because I almost felt like the bigger companies slightly scaled back.
I know what you
know
mean.
how you feel about that, but like, Distortions and BeastCraft and, maybe even like Poison props and stuff. Like, I almost felt like there was like less big stuff. Maybe it's in my head, or maybe it's just the videos I saw, But...
No, I think you're right. I think especially with Distortions last year, their stand felt absolutely jam-packed full of animatronics, mostly. Like, obviously they had Frankenstein, and the last year was the first time we saw the Banshee, and there was lots and lots of things going on, and then they had the dinosaurs and all that kind of stuff. It did feel very packed with animatronics, and then obviously all their Legends range. And this year it was, I think they appeared to focus more on the Legends stuff, and there was only a scattering of animatronics there. And I didn't see the Frankenstein.
No. And I think maybe that feeling from Distortions comes from the fact that we've seen that T-Rex before. Yes. I know this is a newer version, right? So it's got the rolling that the other ones didn't have. Right.
Yeah. Very cool though, right? I mean...
Oh, it's awesome. No, it's ridiculous. Because it's something we've already seen the sculpt of and kind of seen around in before.
Yeah.
It's like, didn't feel as new. So the only really big animation that they had was the Xenomorph.
Xenomorph. I was going to say Xenomorph. Yeah. I'm not sure how you actually are supposed to pronounce it. Xenomorph. Either. Happy to go with whatever. Very cool, but just not my personal vibe. But I love it anyway. It's pretty awesome.
I mean, it might be one of their best animatronics, because the motion on it's fluid. It's pretty much self-contained, right?
Yeah.
So like when you look at it, it's like got this full body sculpt, and the arms are crazy, and then the way it shoots the water while the arms are like coming at you.
Yeah.
It's just
really quite cool.
It's really cool. Like, I think it's amazing.
Incredible. I love the detail on it, and I love the way they've got the arms sort of moving separately from one another. Each set of arms was moving at a slightly different moment to the others, so that was really quite a cool detail. I liked that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it looks amazing. It's one of those props that right now I wouldn't have a reason to buy, but if I could ever get my hands on it, I would make an alien haunt just because of that prop. You know what I mean? Like, it's so cool. Like, it reminds me of, I know you've never been to Disney, but it reminds me of going to Disney as a kid and like better than some of the animatronics they would have there. You know what I mean? Like, because they used to have the great movie ride, and you'd go through like different movies. It's not there anymore. And part of it was the alien movies. And so you would have like an alien kind of come out, and like, you know, the jaw would be coming out at you, and another one would come down. It felt like something that should have been in there, you know?
Yeah.
And so that kind of kicks up this nostalgia for me too. I'm just like, oh wow, that's like, having that in my house would be crazy, you know? Like,
could you imagine having that in your just like, hey guys, like most people are like, hey, come around my house. I've got a great new drinks table, or I've got a new, I don't know, poker table or something. It's like, come in my house, go and see this thing. What is this animal you've captured? It's like, no. How much did this cost you? Oh, it was several $1,000. I don't even know how much it is. It's about $7,000,
between
right?
5 and 6, I think.
Like 6, right?
So I think a super reasonable price for what you're getting too. So I mean, all around, I think it's amazing. What I would do, because we just talked about my son having sleepovers, so I would keep it in my office and wait till the kids fell asleep, and then I would slide it out, put it on wheels, right? Slide it out, put a strobe light underneath it, turn it on, just crank the volume up.
Yeah.
I would never have a sleepover ever again. It'd be great.
Its arms could be like knocking on the door, like boom, 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 boom. Like, and they're like, oh God, yeah, that'd be amazing. I think my kids would have nightmares about that for years. I'm not gonna lie. I showed Finn. I was like, look at this, and he was like, what is it? I was like, I don't know, but it's cool,
right? So I think that's amazing, and I really think that for a budget animatronic, the electric zombie, awesome, right? Like, it's
very, very cool.
It's such subtle movement, but it's exactly what you need for that prop. Like, you don't need anything else. You don't need anything else. Vibrating with the light.
That's exactly what it is. That's all.
Add a fog machine behind it so you get some smoke coming up.
Bit of smoke, definitely. Perfect. Awesome idea. I mean, that was, when I saw that, I was kind of like, what is it? I was like, what is it? I was like, but no. Then when you actually saw it doing what it did, I was like, this is really quite impressive. It kind of reminded me of, you're like in Home Alone, the guy who gets electrocuted, one of the robbers who gets electrocuted. Have you ever seen? It's like, it had that vibe. It was the hair and the stuff. I was like, that's pretty cool. I like the fact he was a construction worker too. It's like, what's he been doing? He's been a high voltage zombie. I like that. It's pretty awesome. Yeah. So that's simple but effective. That's all it needed to be.
Perfect. I wasn't the can't think of the name of it. The one that's chained up.
Yeah, infected. Infected, not infection. Infected.
I think it's
it is infected. I'm sure it is.
Yeah, it's a solid prop. Yeah, it's not for me. I'm not really. To me, that's very like kind of just like that classic twitching prop.
Yeah.
Cool sculpt on it and everything. You know, I don't have any issues with it at all. No. For me, it's just not my favorite type of prop.
Yeah, I think that basically sums up a lot of, to be honest, a lot of what was there at the whole of Transworld this year. Is there was a lot of things I was I'm impressed by. Like, that's cool. I can appreciate the coolness. It's just not something I'm necessarily drawn to. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But it's still, I can still appreciate the engineering that goes into it and the artistry. I mean, those, you can't, I mean, that's Xenovores. Incredible. It's just the sculpt on that thing. I love that. It's definitely got spider vibes to me. Like, it was like a mutated spider kind of a look. That's what the one from Spirit should have looked like. That's that. I mean, obviously, right? But that's what it should have been. It should have been a mutated spider creature, not this weird thing with a rucksack on its back. That is that's a mutated alien, something in a laboratory gone wrong spider. That's awesome. Yeah.
If you get the alien spider, the xenomorph goes right with it, you know?
Yeah, it's the whole, is this an alien invasion? Is this mutated weird stuff that's escaped from a laboratory. I love that. I love that you can play with that idea of what these things are, that they're not set to a particular thing. You know what I mean? Like even the alien spider, we call it the alien spider, but you put that in your horn, not everyone's going to go, oh, it's an alien, obviously. You know, you can use that in multiple ways.
It easily go in the lab, you know.
Easy. Definitely.
Apocalyptic scene with mutant things and anything.
Yeah. Eating a zombie, get it out there. That'd be awesome. Really, really good. I like it. It's just not necessarily, I mean, I talk about these things as though I'm going to buy them. Like I've actually got the money to buy these things. I haven't got the money to buy these things, but I always like to think of it like, where would I put that? Where would that go? And it's just that for me wouldn't be one of the things I was jumping to get. That's just, you know.
But maybe, so you need to talk to Ed and Marshall and be like, look, what you need is someone like me to manage Distortions Unlimited UK. Just saying, right? You need a UK shop.
Just send me one of everything. And I'll turn my house into a showroom. And there we go. I will do that. I would do that as well.
Right.
I would 100% do that. I'd hire out a unit somewhere nearby. Come on down.
Right.
And people be like, what, Dan? Because what is this? I don't know. But bye. They're awesome. You need this alien in your living room. Come on.
Right.
Awesome. Though this is something I was sort of talking about. I did a live yesterday. I don't know whether you saw it, but I did a little live yesterday.
I missed it. No.
Oh, never mind. It was terrible. But
sure, it was great.
It's always terrible because I never know what I'm doing.
We gotta do some more live stuff together. I mentioned that in Dave's comment. That was a lot of fun. And live is so much easier when you get someone to talk to.
Of course. This is it. I mean, I'm just literally sat there waiting for people to comment, and then I'm like, oh, right, yeah, of course. I don't know what to say to that. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So one of the things people brought up is it's all very well having these really cool, expensive animatronics. But one of the biggest problems is that often they're not overly waterproof, weatherproof. And I don't know what in Distortions range, I often make the assumption that they are relatively weatherproof. I would assume, like the big animatronics and stuff. But I actually don't know. And you think, and that's always a thing that immediately comes into my head. Like I get that first burst of, whoa, how exciting, how awesome is that? And then there's the little sensible part of me goes, but how waterproof is it? Because here in the UK, it's definitely something you've got to think about. And, you know, if I'm investing $6,000 into something, I want to make sure it doesn't get ruined by a bit of rain, you know? So I don't know. Do you know how weatherproof they are? I assume they are quite.
I think you can put them out. I know they say that you should spray it with something to help with the UV rays so that it doesn't fade as much.
Yeah, okay.
I think they have that listed on their website, actually, that it says, you know, that you can spray stuff, you know, but sometimes the controls for those are separate. So you'd have to have those contained. And
right,
I would be nervous to get something like the Xenovore and put it out there and have it be rained on, you know?
Definitely nervous. I mean, I'm nervous even about my props that say they are weatherproof. I still get nervous and I still try to cover them when I can. I would be more than nervous about one of those, without a doubt. More than I think I'd just have to, I'd never leave the house ever again. I'd just be constantly monitoring it.
You'd just be a character in your heart that's there. Who's that rain jacket man?
Yeah. Okay, just be like, right, that's it, divorce. I don't even live in the house anymore. I'm like, this is my life now. I live on our front garden. It's like, this is my life. No, that's the only thing. And even with props that have cost me like £100, I still am on edge about them, just like constantly like, oh my God, are they really as weatherproof as they say they are? Because I don't trust it. It's like, oh, no, the weather here is terrible.
So, because sometimes even if they're cheap, you can't even necessarily replace them.
No.
Right? So if it's a prop you really like that's really cool for your heart.
Exactly.
It's like, you know, I could afford if I had to buy another one, but I can't find it anymore, you know?
Exactly right. I mean, like the year I thought cauldron stirring witch had died because she got rained on. Depressed. I was so depressed. I genuinely was like, oh my God, it's never going to be the same again. And it's like, even though she's the most basic thing ever, I really would be gutted. The year she dies a death, I am going to be just devastated. So yeah, we briefly talked about BeastCraft in that.
So we get to finish distortion stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. Where were we up to?
There's only one more animatronic that we missed, right? It's kind of like a budget version of the one they had last year. I forgot the name, the alien in the container that comes out at you.
Of course. Yes.
It's cool. I mean, I like the look of it and everything, but it doesn't, it doesn't have the glass panel that comes down, and it's cheaper. And they have, which is interesting, is they have a pneumatic version, then they have the electric version.
Yeah.
The electric version's pretty slow, so I don't know how scary it really is. It's kind of just more like, ooh, here I come. Yeah. But, it's like the slightly older version that's kind of hobbling towards you, but it's cool that they have that option for people, right? I'm not trying to diss it. I think it's cool they have it.
No, I get that.
So I think it's cool. And if you like that alien thing and you're going for it, you probably only need one or the other, right? And I think there's a couple $1,000 difference between the two, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I can't even remember how much the original Alien one was, but that was a very, very cool. I mean, personally, I would have saved up my extra few $1,000s and saved up for the one with the glass screen from a couple of years ago. That's because it's just so impressive. I mean, it's just so incredible. The whole build that's around it and the way the screen comes down and the smoke and the flashing lights and then it leaps out is incredible. And then these two were cool, but again, it's the same thing with me. It was a little too alien-y, if you know what I mean. That's more mutant monster. They were too very much, you go, oh yeah, that's an alien thing in an incubator of some description. I don't know. And that thing of the glass not coming down, and I don't know, just these little things, though they're still impressive and incredibly cool. And I think I would go for the pneumatic one for the speed out of the two.
Right. Yeah, I would too, for sure.
It's still cool to have that option if you haven't got the option of pneumatics. I mean, I haven't either, but I would invest if to get hold of that.
A couple $100, you can get a decent compressor,
compressor and stuff. So yeah, that's definitely an option, and I would go down that road. No problem. But I don't know. I think that's why I forgot about them, to be honest with you, because they were a little bit. I don't know. I saw them. I was like, they're okay. Yeah, they're pretty cool. But there was other things that distracted me away from them, like a giant T-Rex head, which made them not as impressive.
So I just looked it up, and it's almost a $4,000 difference between them.
Wow.
The Alien Parasite, the original one was $6,470.
Yeah.
And these are both the same price, no matter which version, and it's $2,580.
Oh, right. So a massive difference. But I would say a difference worth, there is an obvious reason for that difference. I think the Parasite is awesome.
You could get the Alien Incubator and Frankenstein's Experiment for the same price.
For the same price. Nah.
See, I threw that in there because I know you love Frankenstein.
Yeah, I do love Frankenstein.
I could get to it that way.
Yeah, nah. If I'm spending $6,000, I'm spending it on the Alien Parasite, I think. But then, to be honest, I'm saying that I wouldn't buy that. I would buy Frankenstein. I'd buy Frankenstein, and yeah, and possibly save up a bit more money and get Banshee too. Woo, Banshee and Frankenstein. Right? That's my vibe. That's my thing. Aliens and monsters and mutants, cool. But they're not necessarily something I'm interested in, I would say. It's like the dinosaurs. I love them because they're impressive. I mean, holy crap, how can you not be impressed by those things? The Velociraptors are awesome. If you love Jurassic Park, I mean, come on. If you have any kind of a dinosaur theme of any sort, how you can't be impressed or want any of those, I don't know. But that's, I'm not planning on dinosauring up my horn anytime soon, so bit random for me.
But that would
not
be
random for you, though. You could have them in the woods. That'd be awesome.
But if you just did a summer haunt, you just had dinosaurs, right?
Yeah.
Because
Summerween.
once a year is not enough for Halloween. So
No, we have to get So the summer's dinosaur theme. Autumn, out come the classics. Yeah, okay.
Right.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, if you've got endless cash, yeah, why not?
So dinosaur battle. If you could have either the top end raptor or the T-Rex, which one would you have?
T-Rex. Personally, I love the Velociraptor and I love what it does, but come on, T-Rex. You can't. There's T-Rex. You can't go wrong. It's the dinosaur that everyone draws from being about 4 years old. How
Right.
can you not want a T-Rex in your display if that's what you want to do?
Set it up like it's breaking out the side of your house.
Exactly.
Right. So you put like fake shingles for coming off and stuff, and
That's exactly what
that
you
would
do.
be awesome.
That would be amazing. T-Rex all the way. It's got to be.
The only counter to that I would be is the raptor is a complete dinosaur,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So it's easier to put out and have there and look, real
Yeah.
because it's just a full raptor.
And clearly it does, the one of them actually does leap forward, right? Doesn't it? So you could have that as a scare prop. You could have it hidden behind a tree or a bush or something and boom, out it comes. Yeah, there's a huge more you can do with the Velociraptors and they obviously look more complete. But when you're talking about that compared to a giant one half of a T-Rex,
Right.
no competition. Put a little, like a dead pig carcass or something or goat in its mouth. Come on.
Now, question with the T-Rex, I think it was just the lights and all that stuff. Was that just for the display there?
I think so.
Right?
I think that's not part of the. I think they were just lighting it to give you an idea of what you could do with it. I think so
because it was the cool scene, right? Like it's kind of breaking out.
It was breaking out of like a big out of the wall, right? So but no, I'm pretty sure the lights don't come with it.
Yeah, I think you're right. So.
Awesome, nevertheless, though.
Oh, but it does say, it says, when triggered, it comes to life, rolling open its mouth, appearing to escape as the lights flash and fog blasts.
Okay.
But on the website, they don't show any pictures of that background. So maybe it's just fog and a flashing light on the dinosaur, but not the actual background. That's probably what it is.
Okay. Well, that's still pretty awesome. I mean, like, you would do that anyway, wouldn't you? You'd set up your own lights for that. I mean, you would. It's just amazing. You've got to make a
now,
feature
if you could have dinosaur or a dragon, same size.
Oh. Now that's a real spanner in the works for me because I do have a soft spot for dragons. I think because, again, thinking about my horn, a dragon somehow makes more sense for me. Like, I have got this thing about sort of, fantasy type stuff and all that kind of stuff and traditional Halloween sort of stuff. I think for me, a dragon. For me, it would be a dragon. I mean, that with wings, come on. Basically that, but maybe red with a few more horns sticking out and wings. You can't really go wrong with that. But I can imagine that most people would not say dragon. I think most people would be dinosaur without a doubt.
I'd probably say dragon too, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. I love that whole fantasy thing, right?
Yeah. You can't beat that.
As far as we know, T-Rex might have had feathers and stuff, right? So.
Yeah. Well, this is it. Like, maybe ancient people dug up T-Rex bones and were like, oh my God, it's a dragon. I don't know. Maybe that's where that comes from. I don't know. But dragon all the way. Give me the fantasy stuff any day.
Yeah. Right, so now you started talking about BeastCraft. We'll stay in the light zone for now, and then we'll do the dark zone maybe like we did last time.
Good idea. Yeah.
So
BeastCraft. Yeah. So what were your thoughts? Go on.
I mean, their props are awesome. This lineup did not compare at all to last year's for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. So here's my question: the two cameramen guys, right? Those two robotic camera heads. Do they do something special, or are they just camera? Because at first I thought oh, this is going to be like a Dr. Quantum type thing. You know what I mean?
No, I think they were just cameramen. I think they were just like surveillance cameras. And I think the thing about BeastCraft is it's all about subtlety. It's very subtle. That is a big part of the whole selling point, I think, is that it's not big and brash and in your face and it's got these fancy elements. It's just, and I think there is with the cameramen things, I think it's kind of, if you've got say a horn that's like a bit kind of like a dystopian future or something where you've got surveillance robots following your moves. You know, that's I think the vibe they were going for. But I don't know. I think maybe it's pushing it a little too far, the whole idea. I think, I don't know. I think I'm trying to imagine how someone would actually use that and if it would actually translate to somebody what this is. You know what I mean? Like, you can't go wrong with a big Reaper or something or anything that's creepy and has a Halloween look. It's obvious what it is, but that takes a little bit of thought on the person seeing it. You know, ooh, what are they saying here? Ooh, you know, dystopian future, scary AI robots. You know, what is that? That's scary to me, by the way, AI robots.
Right? It's terrifying.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know whether that's necessarily what everyone would think.
So what I was saying is the only reason I thought maybe they did something was because you get the voice verification robot that has the mic like pointed out towards people.
Yes. Okay.
And then you've got the other one that's got like a scanner gun pointing out. So I thought like there's one record your voice and the other one you can check out groceries at or something. I mean,
maybe it does. I mean, I didn't see an awful lot of people spend a lot of time filming it. You know, this is the only thing, we're relying on other people's footage. And I saw them glancingly a couple of times and no one really seemed to focus their attention on them. So I imagine they don't really do anything particular.
That's what I thought too. I don't think they did, but they look like they should.
Yeah, they did look like they should. But I think that's the thing. I think it's down to that whole subtle vibe rather than, I think you have to put your own spin on what they're for rather than it being so obvious, maybe. I don't know. Oh, overall, again, I mean, what did you make of the pumpkin dudes?
Good. You know, nothing stood out to me as like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I thought they're cool props, you know?
They're cool. They are cool.
Just like they have like another version of the Rook, new version of that.
They did.
Again, cool looking prop. But
yes,
we kind of got that last year. You know what I mean? Like it's not super new. Then we had the 3 trick-or-treaters.
Yes.
Again, cool. You get the little kid stabbing with the pitchfork and stuff. They look great.
They do.
It's just, you know, I've got kids coming in costume to my house. I don't need, how do I need to put my own out there?
Buy some animatronic versions of them. Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't know. It was just, I think, just a little bit lackluster. Like I think there was something about last year's lineup with like Dapper Dan and all the Reaper type props and stuff. They were big and impressive. And even though all of their things have this subtlety to them, they just felt more impactful and just a little bit more, I don't know. I think some of these firms, they're trying to push boundaries and they're trying to be experimental and they're trying to do things that maybe they're not just for Halloween, you know, like they're just awesome animatronics that you could use at other times of the year, like the robot guys, the camera guys. That doesn't necessarily scream Halloween. You could use that in any kind of a scare port or even like I don't know, like a creepy restaurant or something. Do you know what I mean? You could use them
escape room.
Escape rooms, like exactly. They've got multiple uses and they don't necessarily mean Halloween. But I think for people like us, we're always looking for that Halloween thing. And I think a lot of people in this community are too. And if it doesn't scream Halloween at the top of its lungs, it's not necessarily, you know, like we talk about, we want to see new things, but then sometimes they push that boundary a little too far. And it's like, I get where you were coming from, but maybe you should have stuck with classic Halloween. You know what I mean? Maybe get some demons out there rather than 2 weird guys with cameras for heads. You know, I don't know.
Right. Like, it seems like there's a lot of retread stuff, right? So, like, we got another one of the straitjacket people.
Yes.
But this time it's a girl and she's got the box on her head.
Yeah.
But her movement didn't seem as good. Like, it didn't seem as frantic. She looks great. I personally like the one last year better. I like the sculpt of that face. I thought it was cool, but...
Yes. I think the one last year had a more realistic look. I think it just looked like a person in a straitjacket. And the fast, because it had that quite quick flailing movement, there was that whole thing of looking at it a second time, like, is that a scare actor or is that an animatronic? Whereas they didn't have that. They're very good looking, very cool looking things. And the cage around the head's a nice little thing. It's like got 30 ghosts vibes, you know. But it's still, the movement was slow, so therefore you could have had a bit more ability to look at it properly, and you were like, yeah, it's definitely an animatronic, So I don't know, cool, but not for me.
Yeah. And then they had the, I'm on the website, so I get the names. They had the creepers, which is basically where they do this a lot, where they'll take like a sculpt and they'll basically put it on different props. So they got the guy that peeks out from the side of the door.
Cool.
But then they also have the one that's like their ghost prop that they have that kind of floats around. They put the head on that.
Yeah.
Cool looking sculpt, good props.
I think he was actually my favorite, weirdly, in a strange way, the creeper guy that was sticking out behind the door. Again, I like those subtle movements. I like just that sort of little, in the same way that I quite like, as simple as it is, a skull that pops up behind a tombstone. You don't need much more than that sometimes. It is about those sort of slightly more subtle movements. You don't need everything screaming and shouting and with loads of dialogue and stuff. It's nice to have something that's just, creepy. Yeah. It was just that, again, I think perhaps just a little underwhelming, that's all.
Yeah. What did you think about, so it's funny because like companies borrow from each other all the time. What do you think of the fact that they have their own version of a Haunted Hill Farm prop, which is the coat hanger,
the coat hanger guy? Well, do you know what? I was really confused by that, to be honest, because I'd seen the imagery from Haunted Hill Farm. And again, because I'm from the UK, I'm not as up on this, but tell me if I'm wrong, but isn't that coat hanger guy like an old prop? He's like a returning prop, right?
Yeah.
Right. So when I saw it in the stand, I actually was like, oh, why have they got a Haunted Hill Farm prop there? What's that there for? That's weird. Like, have they got some sort of weird relationship with them that I'm unaware of? And then, it was like, everyone was like, why? They basically recreated that prop. Maybe they didn't know that they were bringing it back this year. Maybe they were just like, hey, I've always liked this prop. We'll do a better version of it. And then they were like, oh, crap. Haunted Hill Farm and brought it back. How can you can't believe it, but I don't know.
The weird thing was, it wasn't even like drastically improved. Like, it looks better. I'm not saying it doesn't look better. And it's got the little tentacle things that shoot out at you too.
Which is cool.
But like, I wouldn't say that they went over the top with like this really cool monster that comes out, right? It's still just a face with the arms going up.
Yeah. I have to say though, that is even the original is a cool. Again, this was my first time seeing it this year, and I was like, whoever thought that up, well done you. That's actually really clever. I like that you've done, that's a clever prop. I like that.
I mean, I'm actually still trying to figure out exactly what my heart's going to be. But if I go with haunted house theme, which I'm leaning towards, that's something that I easily put in a haunted house, right? You're going into the building and then...
How cool. Yeah.
Right?
Hang up your coat. Oh, no. Very cool. I think that's a really cool thing.
It looks like a good scare. Even the Haunted Hill prop one looked... Haunted Hill Farms looks scary. Like it's got a pretty quick movement.
Yeah. I'm all into that. I think that's really quite an impressive prop. I really like it. Our next
video, Dan, is Haunted Hill Farms better than Home Depot?
Well, maybe. Who knows? It's I doubt it somehow, but who knows? I take it then is, by the sound of that, is Zelda Horn off the cards this year? Is that not going to happen?
I think so. So I really want to get my channel focused more on making stuff going forward.
Yeah.
So Zelda Horn's on the table, probably down the road, but this year, so I'm taking a welding class in May.
Okay. Wow.
So hopefully that'll help me so I can start really making some good frames and stuff. And so I've been trying to do like a lot of like learning stuff now, which is why I haven't done as many video stuff.
Okay, that's cool.
So hopefully like come end of spring, early summer, I can start kind of cranking out stuff like that.
That'll be cool.
I mean, I still want to do this stuff, don't get me wrong.
Yeah. But obviously, whereas I'm just resting on my laurels and doing the same old. Like, I'm not learning anything.
You're killing it, though. Your videos are doing great.
Yeah, they're all right. I always think, though, to myself, I should start making more stuff, and I should teach myself how to, wire up things and make mowers and stuff and do all that kind of stuff. And then I'm like, but the reality is, I know what would happen in my house. I would start learning these things and I'd have all like electrical components and stuff out. And Katie would just come along and go, oh my God, what a load of mess. And she'd just put it in there. She'd just be like, that stuff. I'd be like, yeah, where's my motor? She'd be like, what was it? I was like, a motor. I'm making a motor. Oh, I might have put it in the bin. I might have thrown it away. I know it would happen because she's a neat freak. She has to have everything away. So, and I don't have like a workspace where I can do it. So I'd have to do it in like the kitchen or something. So like, that's always, I'm like, nah, no point. I'll just buy things. I'll just buy animatronics.
Yeah.
So, is that all for BeastCraft?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the website quick. Just the other one is the zombie, lurking bear.
Oh,
good-looking
yeah.
zombie.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Again, pretty awesome. Good-looking zombie. Liked it.
That's great.
But
it's just, again, it's just one of those things where it's like, it's not like excitingly new. You know, it's still very...
I mean, again, I mean, it's... I say it all the time, and I shouldn't say it really, because, you know, people still need zombies. But again, how many times can you reproduce the wheel? It's the same. It's a zombie. It is a zombie. Everyone's seen a million different kinds of zombies. You know, I mean, I think the most weird one I've seen in the last year or so is the one from Spirit that had rats in its brain and stuff. Like, That's the only one I've seen that's made me go, oh, that's different. Other than that, it's a zombie. We've seen zombies.
Now, this is probably one of the best looking ones, right? So I don't have a problem with BeastCraft doing those props. I just want to see like 3 or 4 really unique props to go with it, you know, and other than the cameramen people, we didn't really get anything new and unique, I don't think. So,
I mean, last year, it wasn't even that it was new and unique. It was that they took old concepts like Reapers and stuff, or little hooded characters, and gave them a different direction, like the violin playing one on top of a tombstone. Like, that's not for everybody, but I really liked that. It's something quirky and different and a bit creepy. You know, maybe the music wasn't for everyone, but you know what I mean? It's something, just a slight twist on something we've all seen before. And I think that's sometimes where these firms should go a bit more, not necessarily to try and reinvent the wheel, but to sort of just give a twist on something that everybody likes, you know?
I know why they picked that song now, anyway, for last year.
I'm trying to remember it. It was...
The song is... There's actually a ride that's named that came out recently, and I was reading about it. It was replaced with a haunted castle over in a ride over somewhere over your area, I think. Not. It's a Efteling.
Okay.
Where is that?
Yeah,
is that the Netherlands?
That's the Netherlands. Yeah,
okay.
That's right.
I think it's there.
Okay. Yeah.
I think. Hold on. I'm so close to finding it now.
I'm looking now as well.
Dance Macabre. That's the that's the name of the.
Yeah, that's it. Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
That's the song,
right?
And that's the name of the new ride. But
okay.
But if you look up the actual song,
I can hear it.
Yeah, it said, according to legend, death appears at midnight every year on Halloween, and it calls forth the dead from their graves to dance for him while he plays his fiddle.
Ah.
So that's the song he plays. So when I read that, I was just like,
that makes sense. Okay,
this makes a lot of sense.
That actually makes loads of sense now. I'm never going to critique them ever again.
Right? And I read that just like, would have sounded a lot smarter if I do that last year.
Yeah. Oh, well, never mind. Who knows? These people have these ideas in their head, and it doesn't always translate, as we've just been talking about. These things don't always translate, but there you go. Who else have we got to talk about in the light zone? Just trying to think.
So I want to talk about, well, there's this too, right?
Sorry, I guess my stomach's rumbling. Can you hear my stomach rumbling? It's like proper rumbling. Sorry. If you hear my stomach rumbling, I apologize.
Do you need to go get a snack quick?
No, I don't think so. I don't feel hungry at all. It's just rumbling.
So we got to talk about Unit 70 and their giant Frankenstein
100%
monster.
Yes.
I mean, it's amazing.
Incredible.
Right? Like, it just...
I don't know. That for me is, the winner of Transworld. Just that. I I don't know how I'd use it. I don't know where it would go. I don't know how it would cost a fortune.
I think they're only making 3 of them.
Yeah, I've seen the video where they were talking about it. They were making like 3, and they had a whole lineup of other cool animatronics. These crazy animatronics.
Yep. And one of them was already ordered by what's his? I can't think of his name.
Not
the guy that owns the one that's got all the big crazy stuff.
You don't mean Brick Thunder?
No,
not Brick Thunder.
No, the
big crazy
haunted
stuff.
house guy.
Oh, God. My brain's not working today. I'm trying to think.
I thought it would be better for me getting up an hour later. I thought, like, I'm going to be so coherent. And
I don't know what my excuse is. It's like 11 o'clock here.
The guy that owns the Darkness.
Oh, yes.
Right?
I know who you mean, but I can't think of his name. I know exactly who you mean.
Larry Kirchner. I think Larry ordered it.
He's ordered one. Wow. Okay.
That's what I heard somewhere. I didn't hear him say that, but he has videos everywhere. Maybe he did say
That's pretty incredible. I mean, just amazing, right? I don't think there's anything negative to say about it. Like, just everything about it, the way that even like the way that they'd not properly put together, like the shoulders, the seams were opening up and closing as the head moved. That was incredible. It just looked exactly how you want your Frankenstein's monster to look. That face, everything. There was nothing wrong with it.
The detail is astonishing, and the movement felt so lifelike.
Yeah.
I would say the only 2 critiques. Well, it's not critiques because, I would give up a finger to have that thing.
Yeah.
Not my middle finger, though.
The middle finger. I'd give up an arm.
Right. One is because it's only from here up, right? It's only this part. I don't really know how you explain that.
Yes.
In a hut, right?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
And I guess you could have like broken floor, like there's a body coming up through there, or you could just say like, well, the doctor only made that part of the monster so far. And,
he's just experimenting on the top half,
right? So, which maybe is what they were going for, because then it kind of only comes to life for a few seconds and then dies.
That's right. Yeah.
And that's the other thing I didn't love is I don't love having that beeping sound built into the audio.
I don't think that was really necessary, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure you could figure out a way of taking that out if you really wanted to, or maybe if you've got the money to buy one of those, you could probably talk to them and say, can you get rid of the beeping noise, please? I'm pretty sure I don't need that.
Yeah, they're only making 3, so
this is what I mean. Just please take the beeping sound out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Again, small, tiny critiques.
Things. I don't think I've got any critiques. And that might be one of them. That was maybe because obviously being a bit of a nerd when it comes to Frankenstein's monster, I'm thinking to myself, he's a character based like in the 1800s. They didn't have heart monitors back then. But then, it's about a guy, a mad scientist who brings something to life with electricity. So how real does it really have to be? Just everything about it. Everything was incredible. I love the fact that it still had, he had the flat top, which I personally am drawn to. Eye movement was incredible. There's the mouth, that flap of skin around the mouth where you could sort of see a bit of bone here in the jaw and just that bit of muscle or tissue or whatever it was supposed to be. That
and the fact that it moved, so like this part was up more, so this part moved more,
Yeah.
It perfect. I mean, the animation was spot on. The detail was...
The teeth, the creepy yellow teeth. It was amazing. Absolutely brilliant.
Crazy. I can't imagine how long it took for them just to make one,
No, this is what I mean. So the work and the engineering that's gone into that is just incredible. When I saw, I'd seen it before Transworld. I'd seen the Unit 70 footage, and then it was like the thumbnail of everybody's, Transworld videos. But yeah, for me, that I think I would have gone to Transworld and spent an awful lot of time hanging around that, to be quite honest with you.
Right.
Just causing a distraction, just like, can you please leave the Frankenstein alone now? Like, no, I'm pushing the button again.
So you can't put your sleeping bag and pillow here. You have to go home.
No. I want to sleep inside his body sculpt. Leave me with Frankenstein monster.
What do you think? So you obviously saw the video. I didn't see much of their booth. Did they have a whole big booth there?
don't think so. I could be wrong. I think that was literally it. I didn't even, again, because the footage I saw, everyone was just kind of really focused on that.
Right.
And I think it was just kind of set up next to like a bit of a promotional bit of
That's all I
posterage
saw.
for, not even necessarily to do with Unit 70. I don't think. I could be wrong. I just looked like a promoting a horn, if I'm honest.
Right.
So I don't know. I think it was just there on its own. But I'd love to see them there next year, like with a proper booth, because their animatronics are incredible. What they do is just mental.
What did you think of the other ones in that video they released?
Well, again, for me, they're all probably a little too gory, just for me personally, but still incredible. Like, I think probably my favorite was the sort of Creature of the Black Lagoon type. Obviously, it wasn't the creature from the Black Lagoon, but that kind of monster type with the scales, holding the fisherman by the hook. That too gory for me, but pretty awesome. I thought it was incredible, and the sheer size of it as well. I mean that's.
I wish they offered a less gory version. So I wish they had one with the scuba diver with the hook through him. And then one where you could just get him without.
Yeah.
I actually like the next one they showed that's kind of named after his dog. It's like kind of like a werewolfy looking thing.
One.
I thought the creature looked awesome. I don't want the woman screaming that's covered in blood.
Yeah.
But the creature looked amazing. I thought it was so cool looking.
Really incredible. Yeah. I don't think there's apart from the fact they're a little bit too gory for the likes of me and you, no real critique there. They're incredible things. I hate to think how much they cost. I really do.
I would love to know how much that Frankenstein's monster cost, just to know. Just to know, like, are we talking 50,000? Or are we talking?
It wouldn't surprise me. It's got to be somewhere in that sort of area. But just the engineering that's gone into it alone has got to be worth that sort of amount of money. So yeah, I'd love to know how much, just so I could depress myself with the fact that I haven't got that sort of money.
So if I sell my house, maybe I can buy.
Yeah. I don't need all of the rooms in my house. Like, I'm sure we could lease one of them out to somebody, and then I could make a bit of money to get hold of this huge monster.
They need another house just to store it in because it's so big.
Yeah. We'll just buy an extra house at the time.
There you go.
Oh, the dream.
So the other one I want to talk about, and I know you mentioned one of their props is Dead Farm Productions. Okay. Dead Farm Productions. So they made that witch that's amazing.
Oh, of course. Right. Yes, and, they did.
Super cool. Like the detail on her is awesome. I love the fact that it's like an entire scene. Like you get the cauldron if you buy the cauldron with her, and you get the smoke coming up and everything she's saying.
I saw her. I was like, I didn't even know who'd made her at first. And I was like, but I've got to mention her when I talk about Transworld, because how incredible is she? She's just the classic. You don't need anything else. That there is exactly me. Just that witch with a cauldron, looking absolutely perfect, aesthetically perfect in every single way. Movement good, lighting good, smoke good. Yes, that's Halloween right there for me.
No, I think they nailed that witch. Is perfect, like you said. Did you see it? So you haven't seen any of their other stuff?
No, because that's the thing. I didn't realize who'd made it. I was going through the footage, and I was like, everyone was like going straight to the dark zone, and then it was like, oh, there's this witch that's by the dark zone. So I didn't know who it was to go back and go, oh, I wonder what else they did. So
that's definitely the best out of all the ones. And I think that's kind of seems like that's their first attempt at like a top quality full figure character. Like they've got other stuff, that's I don't think is on that level. Like they have an Art the Clown ripoff of he's got a chainsaw and he comes up and sticks it into this guy's shoulder.
Okay, I think I've seen. Oh yeah, I think I've seen that. Yeah.
Which looks okay. It's not bad. They had a Michael Myers that comes down from the ceiling, stabbing at you, which looks good. It's fine.
Yeah.
My favorite other one that they did for this year, it's an animatronic. It's not a person. It's like a dresser that a clown would use in the circus, right? So it's like this dresser.
Okay.
But then in the mirror, all of a sudden it kind of flashes and you see this clown walk up. He grabs the dresser and starts shaking it, and the whole thing starts moving, and the drawers are coming out and stuff. And then he lets go, and then another one comes up with the hammer, swings it, smashes the mirror, and then an air cannon shoots the door open and blasts air at you.
Yeah, I saw that. I did see that now you've mentioned that. Again, I didn't realize who it was, if I'm honest.
Right.
There you go.
So I think the cool thing is the idea that the clown's grabbing it and shaking it, and that the whole thing's moving like he's shaking it from the other side. It's just a cool idea.
Very cool idea.
To take on the classic haunted furniture thing, but
well, like
not
you
a
say,
clown
like
person.
That, well, yeah, that's the only downside. But you can imagine that in a haunted house that had a slight clowny theme to it, and that would be a great prop to have. Where again, because I think because that's the thing, isn't it? It's people are expecting to see an animatronic or someone scare actor jumping out, but they're not necessarily expecting an entire cabinet to start like moving and shaking and having all this sort of stuff happening. So yeah, that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did you see Gore Galore?
I was just going to mention them next.
On the same wavelength.
Spider was probably my top one that they showed there.
Yep.
You talked about in your video.
I did. Awesome thing. Again, I don't think I've ever really talked about Gore Galore on my channel before. I really personally liked the kind of Reaper Phantom kind of guy that was hanging from. It was like hanging from
yes, he was them too.
And he was like reaching out. That was really, really cool.
That was my
really
favorite. Sorry.
That was my favorite. Yeah. I love the spider. Incredible. But that's, again, completely my vibe, that sort of thing.
Yeah. It's funny because I'm doing my top 10 video from Transworld now.
Okay.
And he's on there. And I just completely forgot about it.
Just completely forgot.
But I think what's cool about that one is and I think this is what they were going for, is it feels like one of those actor controlled puppets that hides in the hall that they kind of push forward at you.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Well,
but it's not. It's a full animatronic.
The footage I saw, the guy whose footage it was walking by it and thought it was a puppet, because they did have some puppetry things as well. They had a guy in like a big kind of Reaper outfit that was walking around. And he was like, this is just another one of those. And then they activated it. It's like, oh, no, this actually is an animatronic. That's incredible, right? That's so cool. With the smoke and the lights and everything. I don't know how you would set that up in your haunt effectively. And I suppose you'd have to build some sort of a facade around it so it looked like it was coming out of a crypt, say, or something. But yeah, I'd figure that out.
It'd be easy for you. You put an extra wall off your castle with the door. Yeah, right? You can put it in the back door. It needs to be closer, but put that extra wall and just have it come right through.
Don't think I haven't thought about it. I've definitely thought about it. Every time I see something like this, again, wildly out of my price league, but still, I imagine, and if I could get it, this is what I'd do.
Right?
Amazing. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, so cool. Excuse me, I'm trying to think if there's anything else animatronic-wise in the light zone to talk about.
The only other one, and again, I have no idea whose it actually was just funny, was a little pumpkin guy in an outhouse having a poop. Did you see that guy?
I don't think I saw that one.
Did you see that guy? Oh, you'd love that guy. He was only little. He's like a little pumpkin character with a face, and he's in an outhouse. There's like a little outhouse, and he's got this face up like, and he's like bouncing around on the toilet trying to like have a pumpkin poop. And that was funny. That did make me laugh. I think I only really saw it in a lot of people had put like shorts on. Like I didn't actually see it in anyone's main video. Because I tried to find it for my own video. I couldn't find it. Have you seen it?
Sitting on the top of a barrel?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Reanimated creations. We'll give them
there you go. Yeah, there you go. Very, very cool. I just thought it was funny. Just fun little thing. Why not? But I can't think of anything else particularly that was from the light zone anyway. Not that I can think.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed that episode. Like I said, go and check out part 2, which is up on ScareDad's channel right now. And for now, guys, thank you so much for watching. Keep it spooky. Bye.
Killed it. You killed it. You're on a roll.
Okay.
It's almost like we've been doing this for a year now.
It is. It's almost like that. God, is that how long it's been? Yeah, it's a year. Wow. Gosh. Happy birthday to us.
Right?
Oh, dear.
It's crazy to think about, right? And
Yeah, I can't believe that's a year. Mind you, it's been the years flow.
so,
Anyway, bud, thank you so much.
all right. We'll
See
talk
you
soon.
soon.
All
Talk
right,
soon.
take care.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.